Well, as you might imagine, there's a lot of fury in the streets from protesters, especially from people who are being pushed, shoved around, some of whom are being arrested without giving any definite reason why, and without giving any warning or way to move out of the way of these police. We were talking before about what's being allowed into Zuccotti Park and what's not. Now, we're fortunate to be joined by New York City school teacher Mr. Jim Ryan. He wasn't allowed in Zuccotti Park. Mr. Ryan, show our viewers your bag, if you will. He's a school teacher. He's got his class's papers in here. He'll be grading homework at home, maybe a snack and a few books in there. Mr. Ryan, talk to us about trying to go into the park with your bag a little while ago, and what was the response from NYPD?
Okay, well, I was on my way home from school carrying my backpack from school and took the R train, stopped off at the local station to come see this. And I watched, and when they finally allowed people to start going in the park, I got in line to get in the park. And when I got to the police officers, whoever the other people that are there, they stopped me and said I couldn't go in. And I said, well, I'm a school teacher. This is my papers. I offered to let them inspect it, but they refused, and they just said you can't go in. And they, basically said I got to get away, and started, they didn't say anything that was threatening, but I definitely got the feeling that if I stayed there and tried to argue with them, I would be in trouble. So I walked away at that point.
It's interesting. You told me earlier that this Occupy Wall Street protest is something that you actually brought your class to.
Right.
Excuse me, as an example of the American democratic process at work. In other words, our First Amendment rights to free speech and freedom of assembly. What did they learn, and did it take a turn one way or the other at all? What was the experience like?
Well, the kids were very interested. I teach participation in government, which is civics. And the kids have been very, very interested. It's all seniors in high school about this movement, and we've been covering it in the news and talking about it a lot. So when they came here with another class, the journalism class, our purpose was for them to interview protesters, and which they did, and they had very good experiences. We actually have some of the kids took videos of those interviews, and I think they got a tremendous amount from seeing that these were regular people, that there was nothing. They were a little scared when they first saw the place and with the tents and stuff, but once they got in here, they learned a lot. I have two kids that want to come back and do more interviews. One of the kids wants to write a piece for a paper about it. And they've been very engaged in the learning process with this topic. It's a teachable moment, really.
Sure. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ryan. That's Jim Ryan, a school teacher from here in New York City. But to answer your question, a lot of protesters, and you can hear them shouting in unison. You can hear them shouting from behind the camera. There's a lot of anger out here at police, and as the retired police captain from Philadelphia, Ray Lewis, told us earlier, the best tactic may be one that's abandoned now, and that would be for police to return back to a place of negotiation. But it appears that ship has sailed from Zuccotti Park tonight. We're live here in New York. Back to you. They went to commercial. Thank you so much for your input. It was delightful to speak with you. Thanks again.
What's your name?
My name's Hank Flynn. I'm actually the United Nations correspondent for Press TV.
Oh, okay.
But are we going to come back, or are we good? All right, thank you. And just remember, there'll be a package coming in a while. I'm going to get some interviews and pop that together, okay? Thank you. Yep. You bet.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm
What's
with
up,
the
Jason?
press team.
You're with who?
The press team of Occupy Wall Street.
Right on, man. It's good to meet
If
you.
you had any questions?
Yes, I do. Here's the deal. I've just done 3 live hits.
Okay.
And talked to a number of people.
Yes.
But now that we're done with our live hits, I'm to put together a package to send into them, and that's something that's going to go into rotation. If anything, it would get more air. So if you care to do a quick interview, once Mike, hey Mike, we're done, by the way. Okay. We're done with the live. We can tone down the live. We'll work off one of these live view packs. We're Press TV, by the way. I don't know if you're familiar with us. You probably met Gary.
Yeah, I know Gary very well.
I'm the United Nations Bureau Chief, so that's where I always am. Gary's on assignment in Delaware right now.
All right.
I think they put him on assignment. No one thought that this morning was really going to happen. You know, although me personally, I couldn't have told you when or how it was going to go down. But as soon as you start telling people you're going to occupy the stock exchange,
They cut him.
I wasn't shocked in the slightest. I don't think it's got anything to do with momentum from other Occupy places across the nation. I don't think cops would do that. I think that's all bullshit. The stock exchange, because they negotiated before. They went through this little move and that little move. There was negotiation trying to get people out of the park. Last night, not at all. This is what I want to talk to you about. What would you try to do? Press